what I'm about to say is not an exaggeration. I'm about to reveal to you one of, if not the biggest secret about your soul from the Kabbalah. And I'm not the first one to reveal this. It was revealed, for example, by the Baal Sulam, as I'm going to proceed to explain. And in case you're wondering why we reveal secrets, well, the Vilna Gaon, the Arizal, the Baal Shem Tov, the Zohar itself says that in the days before the Mashiach, there's going to be a great darkness, and it's going to require a great light in order to bring the redemption. So therefore, the secrets of the Kabbalah should be revealed and explained properly. And in this case, it's extremely important. This is going to help us understand how to get past our ego. And that is something that I don't think you've ever heard a good answer to. I never had, until I heard the secret, really, and the associated teachings that are going to be coming out from it at the end of the video. The secret is, ready? Brace yourselves. You're not going to see the world again the same way, I promise you, if you really think about it and you really absorb it, okay? The secret is that there is only one soul. Hashem only created one soul, Adam, male and female. Every other soul that you see is him. He's living 100 billion lifetimes through you. So you are him. You literally are. And the fact that you can't see this is for a reason. And I've made a video about this. So instead of just repeating it all here, I'm going to play that video now. If you've already seen it, then you can skip to the end, because afterwards I'm going to now explain something very important that comes from this teaching and how to apply it specifically to the avodah of Pesach, the service of Passover, which we are about to engage in at this time of the year, which is the relinquishing of the ego, which again is a problem that we do not know how to solve, but I promise you it will all become clear. So here's the video. The Baal Hasulam of righteous memory says that in his opinion, there is only one soul in all of creation, Hashem's Zulato, Hashem's other. Adam is living 100 million lives, and he's living them through now Knesset Yisrael, Hashem's bride. This is because we inherited the godly soul through Yaakov Avinu, our forefather Jacob, the Bechir Ba'avot, the chosen of the Avot, whose face is engraved on the Kis Yaakovod. Yaakov Lamed, it says. Yaakov never died, and we now understand what that means. This is possible because the soul is not actually bound by space and time, nor can it even technically subdivide, so this is actually quite an obvious teaching. However, this level of the soul, where everything is just one, is called the Yechida, which means one soul. Not just one with Hashem, but also itself, unique and one. However, it does appear differently in the 600,000 souls of Israel and sparks, which is you and me, because of our nefesh habahamit, because of our body, which closes off the gates and the doors in our heart and soul, giving us a different expression, giving us a different personality, giving us different strengths from the unique soul. However, as we refine ourselves through Torah and mitzvot, we start to open these gates and we start to actually see the oneness of our soul more clearly. We don't even realize this when we're born. We feel like we're unique and individual. However, the more work we do, the more obvious it becomes. Now, this is a great secret. When just one Jew is completely rectified through teshuvah and no longer sees himself as a distinct individual, but rather that his soul is present with all Yisrael in one soul, then immediately the Mashiach will come. You may think that one person is definitely going to have to be a tzaddik or a gadol or a great rabbi, but that's not the case at all. Everybody contains the potential for the entire collective, and every spiritual accomplishment that you achieve uplifts the entire soul and becomes available to everybody else. So when we go through a particular spiritual experience similar to one of our forefathers, we temporarily experience their spiritual state that they achieved. When we go through some sort of exodus, for example, from limitations, from Eitzarim, we connect to Moshe Lomet. Moshe never died. When we overcome challenges, we connect to Yehoshua. When we build, for example, a sacred space, a mikdash in our lives, we connect to Shlomo HaMelech, King Solomon. Each person must go through their own version of all the spiritual journeys and accomplishments that humanity as a whole went. Once upon a time, spiritual leadership was limited to special individuals like Moshe and Shmuel and David. And now every person has equal potential for spiritual greatness. Everybody is fit for kingship. David Melech Yisrael Chai V'Kayam. David, king of Israel, lives and endures. It appears like we've reached the lowest of lows. Nonetheless, we have access to all the spiritual accomplishments that we achieved over the course of history. So even somebody who's on the lowest possible level with a very base soul and thinks that they're spiritually unworthy, if they genuinely work to improve themselves and their actions, they can actually connect to the full spiritual heritage of our people, and they can experience in a moment what generations before them gradually built up over time. They can become great overnight. So this beautifully and wonderfully and truly means that any individual, regardless of who they are, me, you, can reach such a high spiritual level that they can positively influence the entire generation and bring the Mashiach. The potential for bringing the final redemption and Mashiach exists within every single individual, you and me. When you see a Jew, remember that they are the heart of your heart, the soul of your soul. Love them as yourself, for they are your very self. And so is Hashem. Now pause and reflect, just for a second, on how much more lovable this makes Hashem. There's a famous statement that he created the world out of kindness in order to give to us. This idea challenges that, doesn't it? It sounds like he created the world to have us. And therefore he created kindness because kindness is a way of having us. This is indeed what Chassidut says. Really, he made the world for you. Not as in to give it to you, but because he wants to have you. He made it for you. And because he wants you, he wants to give you the world. So I guess both are true. But you can't have just the one. You can't just say he made the world to give it to you. That doesn't sound right. That is not right. Now, this ties into Pesach. Why do we get so excited about Pesach? We were redeemed from slavery, which, sure, is worth celebrating, at least then. But why now? Why for so many thousands of years? Why do we even say it several times a day in our barachot, on Shabbat, in every Yom Tov, not just Pesach? Actually, we are not celebrating being rescued from slavery. We are celebrating being rescued by Hashem. That's what we can't get over. Okay, but why though? What's going on? Are you still not moved? It's understandable if you're still not moved, don't worry. We know what the problem is. It's the Sa'or Shebe'isa, the yeast in the dough. As Rabbi Alexandri prayed, Master of the universe, it is known and revealed before you that it is our will to perform your will. Umi me'akev, and what's the problem? Why is it not happening? It's the Sa'or Shebe'isa, the yeast in the dough, the ego, the I. It's that very same thing making us out of touch with the truth of our one soul. It closes that door, makes us feel like we are independent, unique, separate from everybody else. And that is the source of all evil. The issue is, when we ate from the Eitz Hadat, we got Da'at, the tree of knowledge. We got this power of a soul called Da'at, and that causes self-consciousness. We are highly self-aware. Being self-conscious is the root of all evil, because it prevents us from being able to consider others as real. We feel like we're the only real one. Everybody else is just a maybe. You think they have problems? I don't know about that. I know if I've got problems. I know I'm real. Does Hashem have any problems? Oh, I don't know about that. Mitzvah, it must be for me. This is the result of Da'at. We can't see others as real because we are too wrapped up in our own needs and our own concerns, and we can't even imagine that others also have needs and concerns. We can't experience them, so they don't feel real to us. All we know is what we experience. Da'at is our sensation of our very life, our very self. And this is the Sa'or Shebe'isa. It creates this puffed up, false reality that we are the center of the universe, and our problems are the worst problems in the world, and our desires are the most important things on earth. So Musa comes along, and it tries to make us feel bad about ourselves. Don't you realize how lowly you are, how nothing you are? I am nothing, I am worthless. The problem is, we're still talking about I'm nothing, I'm worthless. So it seems like an impossible trap. Like I said at the beginning of the video, how do we get out of this? Even when we try to look down on ourselves, we're still stuck thinking about ourselves. So the solution sounds scary. If I tell you that you won't get any reward for doing mitzvot, would you still do them? If I told you that only if you relinquish your ego can you go to Olam Haba, would you still want to go? Am I not sucking the joy out of life? Am I not taking away what you thought the reward of Olam Haba was? Am I terrifying you? Well, don't worry, I'm not a Buddhist. I'm not asking you to destroy your selfhood. I'm trying to tell you something different. This is what the Jewish solution is to this problem. It's very simple, actually. It's not about you. Your ego, you don't have to destroy it. You just have to realize that Hashem gave you an ego not for you. It's for others. This is why the Eitz Hadat is good and evil, right? The knowledge of good and evil. Eitz Hadat Tov Vera. The evil we've discussed. What's the good? The good is that when you have an ego, I have someone to love. I have someone. Isn't that what Hashem wanted? Isn't that Hashem's Zulato? So, you have to realize that everything Hashem gave you, including your feelings, your emotions, your sensitivities, you're very sensitive to problems, right? And issues and things going wrong. That sensitivity is supposed to be used for others. I believe it was the Mittler Rebbe. He would see people every day. He'd have a yechidus with them. People would come and have a private audience with him. And after seeing several people, he would get sweaty. And somebody asked him at some point, why are you so sweaty? And he goes, well, if you were to constantly take off your clothes and put on new clothes and then do that again and again and again in quick succession, you'd get sweaty too. The lesson he was teaching you is that when people come and see him, he gets right into their life. He puts their life on like a set of clothes. And he feels for them, and he gets into their problems, and he experiences their problems, and he tries to offer a solution or a blessing. And obviously, this is the first time he's had those problems when he's experiencing them, so he has not got the coping methods that we have, and it's really intense. And this is an answer to very sensitive people, by the way. A lot of people are very sensitive. What's the solution for them? How do they be happy in life? And the answer is, you have to realize that when you're focusing your sensitivity on your own problems, you can't live. You can't. You're constantly broken. You're constantly suffering. But if you realize that you can use that sensitivity for others, to help others, then you can come alive. You can become a Rebbe. A veritable Rebbe. Right. So, what is doing a mitzvah not for the reward? You think you could do that? What's exciting about that? Well, why should you do something for your own mother or father if they aren't going to give you a reward? The answer is, obviously, because you love them and it makes them happy. Does that not matter to you? Do you not care if it hurts them when you do something that they think is wrong or dangerous or evil? A lot of people don't. So don't worry, you're not the only one. But we must realize that this is not normal. Something's gone wrong. This is the darkness of our generation. But indeed, we do get it. Everybody does care about what others think to some extent. I mean, imagine a person who literally says, if it doesn't matter to me, then I don't care if it matters to anyone else. That person's disgusting, right? We should care about others. We should be considerate. That's something that we at least get to some extent. But why then do we not feel this way about our own parents or about Hashem? It's the Sa'or Shebe'isa. It's the yeast in the dough. It's the ego. It's the self-concern. Their needs are not real to us. Therefore, when they need something of us, we feel it as a burden. We feel it as we're being punished or being, told off or being commanded. There's the story of the boy who went to yeshiva. And he got there, and he said to the Rosh Yeshiva when he got there, do you have a phone? I need to call my mother. And to his surprise, the Rosh Yeshiva said to him, I need to call my mother. And he got it. He really got it. It changed him. He got the message. He was never the same. And he said, "Excuse me, do you have a phone? My mother needs me to call her." So this is the meaning of that Gemara, which says that in the future Hashem will shech the Yetzer Hara. From the original Gemara, we got the So'or Shebe'isa point. Rashi says that's the Yetzer Hara. So in this Gemara, he says he'll shecht it, and everybody will no longer be tempted by evil. And the Reshayim will cry. The wicked will cry. Because they will see the Yetzer Hara as a very thin thread. And they will think, how could I have possibly not conquered that? Now we can see. It's quite easy. Once you get it, you get it. As a kid, I didn't get it. And I had a situation where I ended up hurting someone in my selfishness quite badly. Don't worry, they were okay. But in that moment, I got that everyone is just like me. We all want to be treated right. We all want to have a good life. We all want our dreams to come true and our life not be ruined. So it's like an assumption. For some reason, we think other people don't have needs. And if they do, it's just to annoy us, or it's just to control us. And we just can't get it, especially our parents, especially Hashem. But in a moment, we can wake up. Just a thread, right? It's just a thread. We can stop and say, wow, my dad's not just being mean or being hard on me or getting on my case. He really needs me to do the right thing. It affects him deeply. I'm his son. You know, it's about him. It's not about me. Suddenly, it's not all about me. Suddenly, others become real. Suddenly, I can relate to this idea and enjoy this idea and be blown away by this idea that we are all just one soul. When I look at others, I realize that's me in a different life. And I care about that person just as much as I care about myself. Why wouldn't I? They are as real as me because they are me. And I want to be one with them. I like that. You know, it's not off-putting. And also, suddenly, I can relate to this idea of doing a mitzvah lishma. It's not just Hashem berating me and on my case to do the mitzvot, otherwise he'll punish me or get angry. It's actually about him, not me. He created the world for me. He revealed his mitzvot to me. They are his mitzvot. They matter to him before I was even created. And it matters to him that I do them. Yes, for my good, but because I am important to him. Not because he's benevolent and sitting aloof, doesn't care about anything. I'm the one that doesn't care about anything unless I realize this. It's important to him that I do them. So how could I say no? Do I really have to get a reward for that? Do I really need a prize for that? Am I not embarrassed? Just like that guy we were talking about before who says, if it doesn't matter to me, then I don't care if it matters to anybody else. That's the same thing as doing the mitzvot to get into Olam Haba. No, you do the mitzvot lishma because that's important to him. You are important to him. So, do I really have so many problems? Am I the only one in the world to have problems? Did I invent new problems? And how long do I have anyway? 120 years and then it's all over anyway? What about the thousands of my ancestors that need me to receive what they passed on with their sweat, with their tears, with their blood? And they need me to pass it on to others too. What about Hashem, who's eternal and whose world and plan this is? The Rebbe explained the holding of the mountain over the Jews after they accepted the Torah. They accepted it. But then, after that, he held the mountain over their heads and they had to accept it again, under threat. Did you ever hear an explanation for that? Well, this is how the Rebbe explains it. We were inspired. He said, do you want to do the mitzvah? We said, sure. So he said, no. He picked up the mountain and he said, don't just say sure. This isn't just a fun game. This is everything to me. If you say no, then I would destroy the world. The world is nothing to me anymore. To him. It's about him. It's not about us. You have to hold the mountain over our head for us to see that. So yes, this is Hashem's plan. This is Hashem's world. You are everything to him. You complete him. That's what Yonati Tamati means in Shir HaShirim. My dove of perfection. Tam. We make him tam. We make him complete. That's the Hasidic teaching. And that's what it means. So, Hashem rescued me from Egypt. Not for my sake, but because He wants me. He wants us all, one soul. It said that we are His very first thought. Do you remember your first thought? I can guarantee it was something about your selfish needs. His was about you. So do you get it? How can you not be moved by this? Maybe it's because it contradicts what you learned before, but that's what I thought. Until I saw the sources that say this. You have to go and look at them. Come to my channel. You'll see them all. Or at least as many as I can fit in, because there's literally thousands of sources. Won't be able to go through them all, but enough. When you are told to say a bracha before eating, and you feel burdened, even scolded, that's because you think it's about you. But now you know it's not. When everything is about you, everything is heavier. Life is heavier. When it's about Him, you know He's waiting to hear your bracha. Then the burden is off your shoulders altogether. It becomes exciting, it becomes urgent, it becomes joyful. It almost brings you back to the times when you were a toddler. At least some of you. Not all of us have had such a great childhood. La aleinu. But for those of us at least that can benefit from this mashal, when we were kids, we loved our parents with abandon. We didn't feel them scolding us. When they came home from work, we ran into their arms with more joy than anything. We can have that as adults too. All we have to do is get rid of the Sa'osha Be'isa. And it's not as scary as we think. Like we said, it's not the Buddhist idea of relinquishing the self. It's about realizing that it's more exciting to please the ones we love and see the smile on their face and see them feel released from their burdens, and that, to know that we did that. When we hear this, we are able to get over ourselves properly. We suddenly find a whole new joy in life, and others become real to us. Hashem becomes real to us. The joy of serving others, it's liberating. Like taking on the yoke of heaven is paradoxically liberating. So I'll finish with this. The Mishnah says, "B'chol davado chayav adam lirot et atzmo ki'iluhu yatsa miMitzrayim." Every person in every generation should view themselves as if they were personally redeemed from Egypt. Now, I think we have everything we need to actually understand this, okay? And fulfill this extremely important halacha. Firstly, it is literally true. Our very soul was rescued from Egypt. We were there. And even though we may not have access to the memories of being there, we do not realize which of the 100 billion lifetimes that we've lived that one was, we still have access to the spiritual state. That, the feelings, the character, the love, the awe. Because there is only one Jew. The Jew who was alive then, and you. You are one and the same, most literally. Secondly, on Pesach, we have that rare opportunity to accomplish things quickly, things that normally would take a lifetime. In this case, truly shake off this trap of the self, this ego, this "it's always about me" problem that even Musa can't fix, truly, right? We can reach that state of really and truly appreciating how amazing that moment was when the creator of the whole world revealed his innermost desire, his very first thought, you. That's why the Rebbe says that he rescued us from Egypt at the very moment when we had no merits at all. So we couldn't possibly be confused. It's not about us. It's about him and his love for us. His desire to be wed to his bride, Israel, which he shows us is the most profound love of all. We, his other, are truly his wife, his beloved, and that's indeed why we never, ever, ever get over it. We have said that every day. We have celebrated it every year, without fail, for thousands of years. Zecher L'Tziat Mitzrayim, the day Hashem himself approached us of his own accord and made us his. Now, this one soul business, don't get me wrong, it is a Kabbalistic secret. And so therefore I can't tell you what it's all about. I can't tell you what it's going to be like one day, what he's got in store for us when our souls are all one again, and we're done with this epic billion lifetime mission and adventure with him, and finally reunited with him. I don't know what he's got in store for us then. I do know it's going to be fantastic. Better than our wildest dreams, of course. But I do know one thing. For a billion lifetimes, we have shown that we choose him too. And we've had a billion opportunities to reveal that and demonstrate that beyond a shadow of a doubt. Ani ledodi va'alai tishukato. I am for my beloved, and his yearning is upon me. Chag kasher v'sameach.